Welcome to this Sunday morning edition of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. We're happy to have you with us for yet another interesting adventure. Boy, I tell you, I really hadn't planned on coming back on until maybe sometime next week, but it seems in our crazy, nutty world, things just keep popping, and we here at the Phil Taylor Jones Show feel an obligation to bring it to you, or bring you a more, detailed version of what you possibly may hear on the wonderful news media who is so inept at reporting the truth and all that good stuff. We got a lot to cover today, so kind of hang tight, folks. This is a little bit of real talk with Phil this morning. The first thing that we're going to jump into is what happened in Florida. I'm Phil Taylor Jones, your host, and once again, happy to have you with us. Well, it seems that there is, and details are still coming in, so the situation is still fluid, but as to our research here at the show, there was a gunman who entered an establishment and shot up 50 people, killed 50 people. Injured, I don't know how many. The body count or the injury count is still, as I said, still a fluid situation. Upon going in, he allegedly went on and gave his allegiance and praise to the leaders of ISIS and possibly Allah, Islam, what have you. So basically, it's a terrorist act. 50 people dead. Our hearts here at the show go out to those families who are mourning the loss of their loved ones, and to the families that are indeed hoping that they're injured recover to their full healthy state. It's just a tragedy that we have to put up with such idiocy, such heinous acts in our country because of our stupid, and I will reiterate, stupid governmental leaders from the president on down, who fail to see that these people are dangerous and should never be allowed into our country. 50 more people now have to be laid to rest because of idiocy. Okay, having said that, with a heart hung low, we'll go on into our other parts of the show here. I mean, folks, this is really bad that we have to contend with this. And just to show you the further idiocy of whoever thought up this idea, I was looking at telly the other night, and they were talking about, and not only telly, but I also read it, where they are really chomping at the bit, beating on the tom-toms to get illegal foreigners the vote. Now, while you probably rub your head on this one or bang it against the wall, that's what I said. They want illegal foreigners to now have the vote. To everyone or anyone who came up with this totally asinine idea, they need to be taken out and shot. If you look back at the history of our country, the right to vote is one of the most precious, the most coveted things that an American citizen can do for their country. A few short years ago, all folks weren't able to vote in our country. The indigenous, as they love to say nowadays, people, the Indians, they weren't allowed to vote. Black folks certainly weren't allowed to vote. And women weren't allowed to vote. But after much diligence and a lot of effort and a lot of fighting and a lot of hard work, all of these people are now able to vote. It's their right. It's their responsibility. It's their honor to vote for the leaders of our country, although our voting for some of these dumbasses has been much the failure, but at least we had the right to do it. So you mean to tell me that some pitiful corn-fed political bastard is now going to sit up there and say, oh, let's give illegals the right to vote? No way in hell. Everybody who is within earshot or within eyeshot of this show should go immediately to their computers, typewriters, phones, tablets, whatever way you wish to get their phones, go to the offices, knock on the door, meet with these people and say no, an emphatic no. These people haven't the right to vote for leaders in our country when they are not legal citizens here. Whoever thought that up must have been heavily on drugs, or so deep in a liquor bottle that they can not possibly climb their way out. Are we supposed to be a country of laws or what? What would behoove any political person who has a quarter of an ounce of brain to make such an asinine statement or an asinine move to lunacy? It has gone way too far, people. I can't even fathom that. You don't belong here. You just came here yesterday from wherever it is you came from. But now it's time to vote and you go and cast a ballot for our president. Highest job in the land. There is something definitely wrong with this picture. The dumplings aren't in order in the pan here. This is crazy. And I, for one, wouldn't go for it in the least. They even went so far as to say they would allow prisoners to vote. Felons, double, triple, quadruple lifers to go and vote. Are you kidding me? You did something so heinous that you have a quadruple life sentence hanging over your head, but you're going to be allowed to vote? I don't think so. Do the Democrats want the presidency or the gubernatorial or the mayoral or whatever, supervisors or Senate or Congress, do they want these seats that bad that they will allow criminals? Well, that was a dumb question, Phil. Of course they would, because look who they're trying to get in there as president. Bitchery Clinton. Yes, I've changed it. Slithery was too nice, too juvenile. So forever and for always on the Phil Taylor Jones Show, she will be known as Bitchery Clinton. A major crook. She is the creme de la creme of crooks. So yeah, they'd do anything. They'd allow crooks to vote. They'd allow, they was even wanting to allow middle school students to vote. They don't even have a firm, well, some of them are very smart. But the vast majority of middle school students don't even have a grasp of who the president is, let alone what he does. And they're children. Are we going to open up the vote next to kindergarten students? God! Get on the phones, computers, whatever device you wish to use, go down there, meet with them. We do not need this in this country. We don't need it. All right, we burnt down that bridge. Let's go to Donald Trump. So many people are still yelling and screaming about what he said about some Mexican federal judge. Like the man made a big mistake. Like the man spoke total lunacy or idiocy. First of all, we've known that there are such things as judges on the take. Crooked judges. Judges who do this in order to stop doing that. They're not gods. They're not without fallacy. They are not above reproach. They are human beings, complete with likes, dislikes, loves, hates, wants, desires, wrongdoings, right doings. They are human. They are fallible. And what would be so outlandish to think, given with what Donald said about getting these foreigners out of here, and building up a wall to protect us from them infiltrating and infesting our nation, for them to take offense to that. Any person with an ounce of common judgment would consider the man and what he said would be, well, yeah, that could happen. It could happen. But oh no, they got to take that offensive. Of course it couldn't happen. There have been federal judges, local judges, appellate judges, municipal judges, all thrown off the bench for their crooked activities. So you bet your ass that this could happen. And since everybody hates Donald Trump, why not? I've never seen a man so hated. I don't even think Hitler was hated as bad as Donald Trump. I don't think Attila the Hun was hated as bad as Donald Trump. I mean, I've never seen a person so hated to be in the front position of everything. If he's so hated, why is he the presumptive nominee? Obviously, everybody doesn't hate him. And when you see what went on in Florida, as well as what has gone on in other nations, as well as our own, the taking down of the Twin Towers, for him to say that he wants to stop Muslims from coming into this country until we find a better way of finding out who the hell they are, I applaud the man and I double down on what he said. Hey, how about that, eh? When he said that a lot of people that come into our country through the border, across the border of Mexico, and a lot of them are rapists and murderers and killers and people who mean us no good, I agree with the man and I triple down on what he said. Anybody that listened to the man knows that he did not say all Mexicans, because any fool with an ounce of brains knows that everything that slithers across the border from Mexico is not a Mexican. They do it because that's the easiest port in which to get, a portal in which to get into this country. You've had Muzzies coming over the Mexican border, Chinese coming over the Mexican border. Every something that's in this world, on this planet, has come over the Mexican border because it's easy to get across the Mexican border. And that's what the man meant. Yeah, there's some Mexicans that have come across the Mexican border too. That's a given. It's their country. But you're so willing and so easy to pick up a stick of hate and crush his head with it because you're either too damn chicken to come up with that idea yourself, or you think it's not politically correct. Well, we won't go into what Phil Taylor Jones thinks about politically correctness because, you know, first of all, I don't want to get loose and start to cussing. And second of all, I don't want my blood pressure to go up another 3 notches. Donald Trump. He is the best chance we have for anything going in this country. You sure wouldn't want to hand the reins over to bitchery Clinton, would you? Okay, so now it's time to stop the dumb shit and start to get on the real track to where we want to be. To you naysayers out there, shut up. Your game is weak and tired. We don't want to hear you anymore. Unless you can come up with a better and more viable vehicle for which Americans can get to where they were, which was proud of their country. They had jobs that they could depend on. Our veterans were taken care of. Our soldiers were fully outfitted with the latest technology and with the full backing of the commander-in-chief. Our children were happy. They weren't all screwed up in the head wondering which bathroom they had to go to. And we had a full sense of Americana. When we picked up the phone and called the business, we weren't asked which language we wanted to speak in. We knew which language we wanted to speak in. When our children went to school, they learned the reading, writing, arithmetic, and they learned it in English and didn't have to sit up and wait till some damn foreigner took the forefront of the classroom. So unless you can come up with a more viable option for us to get where we need to be, shut the hell up. We don't need to hear from you, you jackasses. For those of you who are supporting the Trump man, do so vigilantly. strongly, because we need some kind of change in Washington. Otherwise, we're going to change from worse to total destruction with Bitchery Clinton in there as the modern day doomsday device. To Donald Trump, you need to be very careful about your selection of a running mate. That could make or break you, pal. So be very, very careful about what you do there. Secondly, I heard something on telly regarding you. And when I hear something on telly or, the internet or whatever, I take it with not a grain of salt, but a whole box of salt, because I know how people feel about you and what they're prone to say about you. Given that you are or have been in the entertainment field, they were saying that you wanted to liven up the Republican convention next month, and you wanted to do it by way of having a bunch of celebrities and sports figures on the or within the convention to liven things up. I'd be totally opposed to that, Donald. I don't want to see any dried up, stupid ass celebrities. They're already getting their fame. If you go to watch their dumb movies or watch Saturday night or Sunday night football or basketball or baseball, these people, they have had too much limelight. I don't want to see that. And I don't think the American people want to see that. What we want to see is what Donald J. Trump can do for Americans, why Donald J. Trump deserves our vote. I'd like to see maybe somebody from your organization that you've hired who was on the bony knees of nothing. But because of you and the fine work that you've done, you've elevated these people to middle-class status now. I think that would be more beneficial to American people and some of those people that are kind of hanging on the fence, whether they be Bernie Sanders supporters or just people within the Republican Party that are still wondering which way to go. We don't need to see some dried up, stupid ass celebrities. Screw that. We need to see what you will do for the American public, the American people. So think along those lines. Success stories within our country. Somebody that has pulled themselves up by help from you and your organization, or just by way of anybody's organization. That there is still an American dream in this country. That there is still a way to move yourself up. If somebody is in there that cannot give you a hand out, but a hand up. That's what we need to see. From you, Donald Trump, we need to see more of your plans in great specificity. You are not running against other Republicans now. I can firmly and clearly understand why you were, playing your cards close to the vest when it came time to the things that you wanted to propose to do for this country. But all these people are gone. You stand alone. So now we need to hear less rhetoric from you and more real talk, more detailed plans on what you have in store for this country. That's going to garner you more votes than if you, have some stupid celebrities or what have you at the convention. We need to hear clear-cut plans of what Donald wants to do for this country, just as you would with your business plans or when you're in the boardroom and you're making clear statements of great specificity so that no stone is unturned. That's what we need from you. I don't need you or the American public. We don't care whether you're presidential or not. We care that you're a strong leader. We've had plenty of people in there acting presidential. If you want to look at it, old bastard can act presidential, but everybody knows he isn't worth anything. He's a shitbag. Now is the time for you to stand in your own light, as we know you can do, and show the world that Donald Trump can make a difference. Things to be huge and things to be wonderful, it's going to be great, that's fine. I want to know how it's going to be great, in great specificity. Line item, how it's going to be great, what you intend to do. That's your game to beating bitchery Clinton, because everybody knows that she too, like the person she most follows and emulates, is a shitbag. As you move forward into your campaign, sure, as I've said so many times, it's a sad dog that won't hold up his own tail. Bitchery is going to be after you like ugly on a monkey. So yeah, you're going to, have to be at her too, but don't make that your main focus. As they said in one of my favorite movies, Smokey and the Bandit, don't lose your head, son. You got a lot of boogieing to do. You got to make it all the way to November I think it's the 8th. And you got to be picking up folks along the way, because there's a lot of hatred out there for you. You well know this. Some of those people can be turned around with a very strong presence, a very strong showing. Teleprompters. Don't let these idiots like Paul Ryan and all these other bastards change you from doing the way that you did. I can remember the great Theodore Roosevelt, who said to walk tall and carry a big stick. They didn't have teleprompters back then. I don't believe they did, way back in the day. So if you want to speak open air talk, then go right ahead with it. Let no man look down upon who you are. Keep up the good fight and don't bow to anybody else's mediocrity. We want you to succeed because we know that you are the only one that has a clear-cut plan for what needs to be done in this country. We can't depend on bitchery Clinton. She's a bitch. She's a piece of crap. Her and that stupid Warren woman, Elizabeth Warren, you bag of crap. Oh, I don't want to be president. I don't want to be vice president. You're a liar. You outlie cross ties, bitch. And they lie flat on the ground. You want anything you can get because you're a greedy bastard, just like bitchery Clinton. So come off your act. You're snuzzling up to that bitch because you want to be the second bitch in charge. So stop lying and playing games, Elizabeth, creepy-ass Warren. There's a lot at stake in our country, a lot of stuff that's going down the side of the pipes that shouldn't be going on. Now is the time to seize the moment and put somebody in office that will do us some good. Blowjob Willie Clinton didn't do such a good job, did he? And now you're going to trust his crooked ass wife? Good Lord, the nations are laughing at the things that we're proposing in this country. That we're so damn desperate that we'd be willing to put a person who is under the scrutiny of the FBI, imagining other vegetables or vegetable soup that we don't know about. The CIA, the FBI, the NSA, and that's the best we can do. You'll lift her up on gossamer wings. But Donald Trump, you want to throw in the garbage can because he speaks the truth. Foreigners in our country, raising hell, killing people, getting things that our people have been denied for years. And yet you buck against the man because he doesn't want that happening. Sometimes I wonder what happened to the American people. Did they all get sucked up by aliens? I'm talking about the extraterrestrials, not these sleaze bags that come across the border. Did they all get sucked up and replaced by total idiots and airheads? Obviously. How do you explain bitchery Clinton? It's time for patriots to unite. It's time for us to make sure that we get somebody in there that has our best interest at heart. It is time, whether or not they actually listen to you or read it, but at least deluge them with your responses to sheer idiocy. We don't need any illegal bastards planning our future, voting for our leaders, voting for our initiatives. In short, we don't need any illegal bastards. We need them either gone, or as I alluded to on another show, build a big concentration, 3 big concentration camps, one in the east, one in the center, and one in the west coast. Put them all in there once they're rounded up. Stick them in there. Cuff them, just like you do prisoners. Cuff them with the ankle bracelet. They will be allowed to go out and do state-sanctioned work. At the end of their work day, they come back to the compound and they go to school for citizenship. I'm not willing to spend another dime on these bastards, even sending them back, unless they are perpetrators of the most heinous of crime. And even I wouldn't be willing to send them back. Get them in for medical research. Let the animals go. The little monkeys and the little dogs and things that they're testing for chemicals or medical research. Let them go. They haven't committed any crimes. They're sweet little animals. Put these hardened criminal bastards in there and test them. I'd say that. And to these that are already here, you get your citizenship one of 2 ways. One, you go and serve 5 tours of duty in our military, either branch. Upon getting your honorable discharge, you will get your citizenship papers and a little flag to wave. You're an American citizen now. And to those others, you're in that compound until you finish your coursework and methodology in American citizenry, and then after you go to the ceremony and get your papers and your little flag, you're an American citizen. You can stay at the compound or you can go out into the mainstream. That's the way I would handle it. I'm going to spend another dime on these bastards. We need to get our game tight. Otherwise, you can say goodbye to America as a country. Because in the hands of Bitchery Clinton, forget it. Her slogan, Hillary, working for us, is true. She's working for herself, her pitiful daughter, and her blowjob husband. She couldn't give a fat rat's ass about any one of us. You women out there who think, oh, she's in there for women. Yeah, she's in there for women, herself and her daughter. She doesn't care about you. She will use you. You Hispanics out there, you think she cares about you? She will use you. You black folks out there, you think she cares about you? She will use you. And men, forget it. She doesn't give a damn about you because she's already said it. She's in there for women. That's her guys. Bitchery Clinton is no good for anything but the jail. But she'll never make it because obviously she has enough clout to get out of anything. My contention is if I had been convicted or under scrutiny for the things that she'd been under, I'd have been I would have been dead because I'm black. But if I were white, I'd be in jail, up under the prison. It wouldn't even see the light of day. Something crooked is afoot with Bitchery Clinton. That's why we need Donald Trump to come in there and clean up some of the mess. Is he going to take care of everything? No, nobody can. It's too far gone to look back. But at least perhaps he can get in there and take some of the plates off the table. Exec, you got anything?
I too come to the show today with a heavy heart. It's ridiculous and insane. All these lives that have to be senselessly lost because of some allegedly peaceful religion, a peaceful cult, in my opinion. You're all following the wrong person. In my opinion, he's a false prophet if he supposedly teaches peace and go around killing people for no damn reason other than to say that we did it. I feel very sorry and sorrowful to the families of all 50 people who were murdered, and I hope they can find some kind of peace in the pictures, videos, and good memories, and other family members and friends are still around to console them. And like you said, the ones that are injured, I hope they revive and are brought back to 100%. It's a shame that this stuff has to keep happening. And as you alluded to, with Donald Trump saying that we don't need the Muslims here, it's proof positive right there. It's yet another American terrorist tragedy at the hands of someone that supports, Islam and ISIS and everything. And it needs to stop. The only way to stop it is to stop them from coming in here. Not that they can't stop the ones that are already here that can do the same thing, Look at 9/11. They weren't coming over in droves. They were already here, and they already trained years and years to, be able to fly. Those are jetliners. So the problem is still here, already has been here all the time since before 2011, or 2001, excuse me. But as far as the rest of this stuff goes, giving these people that don't even have a right to be in our country the right to vote doesn't make any damn sense. I guess the bleeding heart liberals or anyone that's a bleeding heart in general would probably say, well, since they live here, they should get a right to choose what happens to them. Well, they don't get a right to choose anything because they're lawbreakers to begin with. Lawbreakers should not get any kind of privileges to vote for what goes on in their life because they're breaking laws. You're automatically not a proper citizen by breaking the rules that were there to protect you, just the same way as a prisoner shouldn't be able to vote either. It's crazy. And this this thing with this judge, and for anybody to say that Trump is wrong themselves, as you said, because knowing his ethnicity, regardless of him being born in Indiana, he's of Mexican descent. He's a Mexican, and that's another thing I wish people would stop saying. This person's a something American, Mexican American. If you're still proud enough to include your original ethnicity in there, then you're a Mexican, or just a plain Mexican. You're not an American because you weren't born here. I've said it before, American Indians, the indigenous people, as you said, black and white, those are the Americans. But speaking of that, I kind of sidetracked a little bit from the judge. It does make a whole bunch of sense that because he's Mexican, he doesn't like what he said, that he could easily, put anything into motion against him because he doesn't like what he said, and that he would have conflicts of interest, and he should be removed from there and get some kind of American person in there to try to figure out what they need to figure out. And as far as this bitchery Clinton goes, she is a total bitch, and like I said, the thing that's more scary yesterday than the people, these Democrats saying what they're saying and bitchery saying what she's saying, the fact that they actually believe it is what the scary part is. I dovetail that into what's even more scary than the people wanting to vote for this person, is that they actually believe in them and cheer really loudly when they say certain things, and in their rallies and everything, they just support her full-heartedly when you know that she has all these crimes and everything. Why do you want a criminal in office? It doesn't make any sense. And I also agree, as far as the convention goes, to not have no celebrities and sports figures. That's not worth the tinker's damn. You need to prove, like you said, to the American people, what your intentions are. At least have proof positive of what you have done to help people in the vein of having a job with them and having a better life because of it. Something that shows what you're capable of doing to the American people. They've had enough of arguing back and forth and trading tweets and everything. You need to forget that Twitter stuff and have physical, public, venues where you tell people what you're going to do. This online stuff is just a bunch of craziness, and you need to get away from that Twitter stuff and actually show them what a president would do physically in front of you and speaking to you and showing you what he's going to do, as you alluded to, with the different plans actually being set and established and written down, and trying to show people what you're going to do. But this craziness with this politicalness is going kind of far to the left. It's pretty insane. They're going to be against each other now, Hillary and Trump. Bitchery and Trump. Mm-hmm. And it's going to get even worse. With these, as soon as this convention happens, there's probably going to be all these mudslinging television ads and everything. And it's going to be a crap fest, that's for sure. That's about all I can think of. So back onto the show's host.
Well, as I said before, we are in deep trouble in this country. There are so many issues that have been left in the balance for decades now. And we need somebody that's strong and a leader to get in there and straighten some things up. As I said before, a lot of it's too far to look back, but some of the stuff can be straightened up. Building a wall is fine, but building a wall without a door in it to keep them out is the best way to do things. We got more than enough people on this rock to contend with, and all of their crazy isms and their philosophies and all of this crap. And it's beginning to butt heads now. You know, oh, we're a melting pot, and you know, we're a land of immigrants. Yeah, those are cute little buzz phrases and all that. But when you talk about 50 people being shot up at a place where they're trying to have fun, or 14 people being shot up at a place where they're trying to work, or 3,400 to 3,900 people being blown to bits in two buildings where they're trying to work and go about their daily lives. That isn't a melting pot anymore. That's not embracing diversity. That's not some cutesy little euphemism that you wish to use at a Rotary Club dinner or something. This is real life, and we need to take care of this realistically. So if it means shutting the door, barring people from coming to our country because they are dangerous, then Donald Trump doesn't look so much like an airheaded fool now, does he? How many more people have to die? How many more people have to be injured? How many more people have to take up guns for a non-worthy cause and kill people for a stupid, illogical type idiocy before you understand that these people are dangerous and shouldn't be here? How many more people have to go out on the streets because we're being pushed out of our own country? Whose America is it anyway? These are the things that should be brought up at these conventions. Not some stale stars or some stupid celebrities, but dead nuts accurate things that we need to do to correct our course, because we're headed for disaster. Thank you so much for joining us for this version of the Phil Taylor Jones Show. And if you'd like to subscribe to us, there's a little button over there. You can tap that. And we thank you so much for all of your support and well wishes and comments. And once again, if you've got something that you'd like to hear more about, drop us a line, let us know. Or if there's something that you would like to suggest we do, we'd be more than happy to hear it. Take care and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye now.